Yo, so I apologize. Had to use the bathroom. Sometimes when you drinking, you gotta release the seal. So we back, and crazy part, we had another conversation offline, but I wanted to bring it to light, and I realized I just forgot it.
We're talking about basically how certain people in the military are very like work oriented, like job oriented, and then
Uh
there's
huh.
people that are just in it kind of like just to be
To be,
in like the military, just like that Navy or like Marine Corps, just like culture of that.
yeah,
Like there's people that are just like super gun ho about just like being a part of like the organization itself.
and not the job
Yeah, not
itself.
the job. So like you can have certain people that are like super good on one side of it, but then garbage on the other side, and then vice versa. So I mean, like for
Mm,
me personally, I mean, there's obviously certain people that are good at both,
yeah.
but you're gonna be better at one than the other.
Yeah, you
You know?
can't
No,
balance both.
no.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's
You,
very
you
hard.
can't be 100% at both.
No.
And that's the thing that sucks kind of being in the military because it's like they want you to be at both,
Yeah,
which is
because they want you to be well rounded. You know
well
what I mean?
rounded,
That's the
but
thing.
you can't be well
No,
rounded.
you really can't. No,
Oh,
because I mean, I was always super good at my job. Anybody like ask, you could ask anybody. Like, oh, he's an asshole. He's a dickhead. I don't like him. He's this. He's that. Oh, but what about his like work rate? What about his work ethic? Yeah, it's
phenomenal.
very good. You
See,
know.
I'm good at my
So
job. Like when it comes, like on, I'm surface level when it comes to the organization
yeah,
or whatnot. But for some reason, I could kind of in a sense talk my way
yeah,
to
no,
to
yeah,
like
yeah,
yo go to somebody else.
yeah. No, I think you're. I think you've always been very conscious that you kind of need to be good at the job itself,
Yeah.
but you've also been very like you've taken note of like how it needs to be like wrapped, like how it needs to be presented.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like presentation is like it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know
It
what I'm
is.
saying?
It is
So
a lot, and I think it was
especially in the military, obviously, just even with like how you look yourself. You know what I'm
exactly. You
saying?
could look
Yeah,
goddamn presentable,
yeah,
but not know a lick of
yeah,
nothing
exactly.
or
So
whatnot.
and people and you could succeed. You could be successful potentially. You
Yes, you
could not
can.
know shit, but if you look good, like how you wear your uniform, your haircut's always good, all like this, that, and the third, and you're like you
And you
do,
can run.
you got mad collaterals.
Yeah.
Like you could be wicked on paper, bro. You know,
Yeah.
but you
So
could be trash at your job, and
evals is
that's
the
what that's part of like why like I had issues with the military is that
hmm
there was so many people that were just going at it like like strictly to make themselves look good on paper. But it makes sense though. You can't like knock them really for that. I knocked them when I was in because I hated that.
yeah.
Because I was like this person that like being over in the corner like, bro, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
I know what the fuck is going on here. You don't know nothing at all like about
Mm.
what's actually going on in here. But like now, like when I think about it, it's like, well, this is what you have to do. If you want to do this, like if you want to continue to do this and like be about this life, then that's what you have to do. You have to have like a fucking, you know, a decent knowledge of what you're actually doing work-wise.
hmm
And then but this is how I think of it. You have to have a decent knowledge of like what you're doing like with your job.
hmm
And then if you really want to make it in this shit, you have to make yourself look amazing on paper. You have to like your whole military aspect of it has to be dope. Super dope. Has to be.
Mm.
If you really want to make it in this shit, if you want to, you know, pick up those anchors on your collar for like all my Navy people, or if you want to, you know, get to that level
Get them
and then
rockers,
and
all
then,
other
you know,
branches.
put those bars in your collar at
Yeah.
some point in the future. Like these are things that you have to do. You don't
So
necessarily have to be the guy that's good, that's super good at their job, but like that was always for me like what I wanted to be.
so
I wanted to be
half-ass
that.
everything. So
Yeah.
you get 10 jobs and half-ass it all,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, I think I like that title. Title, half-ass it all.
I mean, that's what a lot of people do, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember like getting into it with people that were like that, and they would try and explain to me, like, dude, this is how it is, man. This is what you got to do.
And
I was never on it, bro. I was never on it. Because that's the game. That's the game of it. That is the game of it.
Half-ass it all.
Half-ass the work. Know what you need to know.
Bare minimum.
Pretty much, yeah. And make your military shit look slick.
See, I think that's some of the reasons why I overthink, because it's like when you half-ass something in your thinking process, you're going to have to come back to it later on.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I always preach of not doing, is coming back to a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
I could have fucking took leave.
Yeah.
Be with my girl.
Yeah.
Another fucking country.
Yeah.
Because I want to half-ass it in the beginning of the month. Now I gotta pay for it at the end, and that's just something that I don't like doing.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is that for me, like, that energy, as far as like how I work, is beneficial for me in the private sector.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was not necessarily beneficial for me in the Navy, and I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I got to a point where I was probably in like my 3rd year, about to get out. I knew that, and I knew that I was like going to like be in a good position at like eventually, like after I like got all my shit together and got back up on my feet, like after like being in the military, because it's a big change. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that was going to be beneficial for me. So I mean, I've been at my job now for a year. Yeah. I'm doing well. I know exactly what's going on. I just got a raise recently.
Congrats.
Got my little Christmas bonus and that.
Ooh.
So like, I mean, like that, but that's what I mean. Like I knew at a certain point, like when I was in like the military, that wasn't like the route to success there.
So like,
but I knew it would be out of it. I had like a gut like feeling that would be the route out of it. But I took a lot of the things that like you taught me, like how to be, and basically like really took a lot of that in, and like remembered that, and like just how to go about things. Yeah. And because you were already gone, and I was at a point where now I'm in the military. I hate this shit. Like I'm alcoholic vibes.
Oh wow.
Drinking every day.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so miserable, bro. But I'm just going through the motions, waiting to like get out. And I'm like, because I wasn't going to like give my effort to these people that don't respect it. Basically, I don't respect you. You don't respect me. You respect what I'm doing. So I'm gonna keep all of that, all the good vibes, all of the shit that I really know how to do. Keep it in, not give that to you because you don't deserve it. Yeah. Go through the motions with you, get out, and then shine. You know what I'm saying? So.
Hey. There's many ways to play spades.
So I mean, that was the vibe, really. I mean, like, because you did, whether you like think about it as deep as like I kind of do. Like you gave me a lot. Yeah. As far as just like how to go about work, how to present yourself, how to do things, like just a lot of that type of like, a lot of like minute details that a lot of people don't think about. Yeah. Just about how you go about things.
Yeah, shit. And like I said early in the podcast, I'm learning myself. Yeah. I mean, I had the general knowledge. Yeah. But whatnot, because, I mean, this shit is a game. Yeah. And people don't realize it.
It's a game, dude.
This shit is a game. So it's like, you always don't want to present your cards. Yeah. Because it's, the military as a whole, I know I talked about this on previous podcasts, but just being in the fleet itself, the game is, what have you done for me now? Yeah. So I need to just give you just a little bit.
Yeah, no, you can't never give the full thing. That's like that out here as well.
In the civilian world,
yeah, it's like that as well. Okay. I mean, you just don't. It's just different because you can get fired. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, but I mean, there's parts of it that I definitely don't like. Just about like civilian type shit. Just
because, so I wanted to say life after the Navy. This is the last segment. I know you about to go into something, but I want to ask you. Kind of seem in a sense you kind of had a plan, but you didn't have a plan. Because I know that's like the biggest thing in the military. Is like, well, and I realized this before I left Hawaii, just dealing with certain people, and then I realized this with my ex when I was in Sigonella, because she was talking about getting out, and then her career planner at the time was saying, well, why don't you just stay in, blase, blase, do this or that.
They always do that though, because they're trying to keep their numbers up.
Yeah, so they trying to keep their numbers. It's a numbers game. But when she finally said, "Oh no, I'm getting out," they kind of was like, "Okay, bye."
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. That's
and
totally
it
what they do.
Sucks.
Totally
and so
what they
the
do.
premise of my podcast, I always hear like, man, it's mad homeless veterans out here and doing this and doing that. I'm like, okay, yeah, they out here.
Yeah.
But what can I? Did I say can I provide information to prevent that? In a sense,
Yeah.
It's programs out here to prevent that.
Yeah, of course.
I understand, like the military.
It's not pushed like it should be.
It's not pushed like it should be, and the military, we do actually have a plan, but it is certain leadership that doesn't always help you execute that plan, and there's certain leadership that does help you execute.
Well, the thing is that like with plans, like in general, like have you ever like had a plan like with like all your homies like going out like on a night, like to go like drink or like do whatever you guys are doing, and like nothing goes to plan?
Yeah,
that's like how life is, dude. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, like I had a fucking full set plan of what I was gonna do, like months before I got out, dude.
Okay.
So I had built this relationship with this civilian employee where I was working. Me and him worked together real well. He was my superior. Like we just got on really well. He liked the way I work. He liked my work ethic, this, that, and the third. He wound up moving to like, you know, next location or whatever it was for him. And I like spoke to him like before I was getting out, and I was like, you know, I'm kind of thinking about going this, you know, GS route.
Yeah.
Because he was a GS. And he was like, oh, that's amazing, dude. I'm so glad that you know, deciding to do that. I can set you up with a job here in PA, which, I mean, I'm right here, obviously. I live in Jersey, so PA is right next door. So I'm like, so I had a whole job set up months before I was even getting out.
Oh, shit, okay.
So it was supposed to be in Harrisburg, in PA. And doing, you know, supply coordinator shit. Like, if you've ever looked on USA Jobs, like, for, like, the similar type of stuff that I was doing in the military and what I do now, like, for them, it's, like, supply coordinator, basically. And you can start at whatever, like, you know, GS level that's available. Or, like, you know, whatever equates to your rank. You know what I'm saying? But I was going to be able to start at, like, a GS, I think, 6 or 7 level that he was going to get me, you know, dope. Basically. It's dope. You're starting, you know, dope salary. You know, your 4 years that you just did in the military, obviously, goes into your, like, retirement at 20 years or whatever. So, I mean, that was all, like, set in stone, bro. So, you know, flying back from SIG, getting to Norfolk to start doing all my checkout.
Out processing.
Yeah, start doing all that. You know, this is early 2017. So this is, like, right when Trump got elected. You know what I'm saying? This is right when he, you know, like, got inaugurated, basically. I came back to Jersey, like, on terminal leave, I think, like, late January of 2017. So, and guess what happened right then when I got back? Hiring freeze, government hiring freeze.
Oh, shit.
So that happened. So man wasn't getting hired. And then, but there was also some other kind of, like, sticky BS going on that I just don't think that he ever really, like, did the things he needed to do to kind of, like, get that job set up for me.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, but from, like, all the communication, like, all the talks that we'd had about it, like, I mean, I still have a lot of it. You could see, you would look at it right now and be like, oh, that was like a go.
Oh, like,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
So you just got to show
Yeah,
up.
exactly. It was a go. Like, from the way that he was, like, describing and explaining it to me. And just, like, I was, like, shocked. Like, dude, he told me that, like, oh, you know, I've got a 4-bedroom house. I've got this massive basement out here. Like, you can stay here until, you know, you, like, find your own place and, like, do this, that. So, like, I was like, oh, word, this is, like,
oh, yeah.
this is
cake. Selling the dream.
So this is going to be easy for me, you know what I'm saying? He asked me, like, what date, like, kind of I wanted to start. And I was like, probably, like, March, like, 15th, you know what I'm saying? Around the middle of March, I'll be home with my family for, like, you know, a month and a half, spend some time with them. I haven't seen them in 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost, you know? So I figured that would be a good time, but then it just all fell through, you know, because of all of, like, what I just described before. So now I'm, like, back. I just got out, and I'm back at square one.
So hiring freeze, and then you said some BS on his behalf.
Yeah, so I mean, I just kind of think
So
that
his word wasn't bond.
basically, I just think he was kind of gassing me on like certain
What was
shit.
he at GS?
But I mean, the thing is that the relationship he was like a GS 11 or 12.
So he up there.
So you know,
He got pulled.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a sad part.
So, I know, that's what I mean.
I never extend my hand if I don't got the leverage.
Well, the thing is that the relationship that we had, like, there was no reason for me to believe that any of what was coming out of his mouth was bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
So like we had a very like
deep,
our like
inclusive.
yeah. So I mean, we talked about all kinds of shit. We hung out like I mean, we both smoked cigarettes, so we're always like outside work like smoking cigarettes and shit. So I mean, like we were cool. So I mean, that was what I thought that I was gonna be doing, and that didn't happen. So I mean, you know, back to square one, and then I'm just like back home now, like just chilling, like, you know, just out like on the boozer, like with my brother, and just doing that. And
did you apply for VA benefits?
Like what kind of benefits? Like what do you mean?
Like disability?
No, I didn't qualify for any disability.
For real?
No.
Still not today?
No, I don't got disability. No.
Damn.
At the same time, though, it's like disability's dodgy, bro. You know how certain, like, I get, no, don't get me wrong, those are checks, bro. I get why people be doing it.
Yeah.
But, like, there's mad people that be taking advantage of that shit. And it does piss me off. I think it probably should piss everybody off, really.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, like, you're really, like, one of those people that, like, should be getting it. You know what I mean? Like, I was stationed in Sicily for 4 years. What problems could I possibly have to get disability?
You probably had people stationed same time.
Yeah, probably.
And got benefits.
I'm not that guy though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not that guy. Like I hate the term like brutally honest. Yeah. Because that term like pisses me off so much because like how can being honest be brutal? How? It's the truth, fam. Like why don't we call liars brutal? Why don't we call people that tell lies all the time brutal? Why not? They're lying.
Brutally liars.
Yeah. So like
lying brutally.
But anyway, I mean yeah, so I mean I just got back to square one and then just started kind of getting things together, learn how to properly like make a resume because I mean I'd learned in, you know, my little TAPS class or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But I mean there was a bunch of lies and a bunch of bullshit in that. I mean, dude, I remember them telling you that you can't like use templates and like things like that, and it's just like utter like bullshit, bro. Like just complete bullshit. Like I got out here, made my little resume. I did it with one of my former like teachers from high school and that, because me and him were cool, and yeah, so I just got rolling, just started, you know. Got out. He hooked me up with like a little job, like a little part-time job, basically, and then did my little resume. And if it worked out over there, then it worked out. But he was like helping me to like properly like make like a success out of myself. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I owe him a lot.
So do you think sometimes, in a sense, like,
don't get me wrong, like it's good. You need to have some sort of plan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I would probably say plan more for that plan going wrong, realistically, you know, because I mean that was my only plan, you know what I'm saying, because I thought it was so set in stone that I didn't really think about anything else, you know, and I had all this time, like, because I mean, like I said, I mean I had all this in plan like months out, so I had all this time then where I could have been like planning like worst case scenario, and I didn't do that.
And the crazy part is that people don't realize it's like, because, I mean, it's safe to say you can be the first one to speak on is like, you know, before we get out, as far as military as a whole, we always hear, well, you know, veterans are the first ones to get hired.
Nah. Nuh-uh. Don't believe that at all. That's a lie. That is a lie. Unless you're like one of those like an IT or like things like that, like jobs like that, you know, like super like, you know, smart kids, or like, you know, some of the like those crypto dudes who do like those CT jobs, like in the Navy in particular. I don't know like about what like you guys have for that, but like those dudes get like picked, or like the nuclear dudes.
Yeah.
Like they're like as soon as they're out, like those companies like already know that they're out. They're
Yeah.
like to recruit those people because they don't got to pay for all their training.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
It's a
like it makes
tax write-off
sense for
for
them.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I mean, but if you do kind of more like a standard job like me, like supply, like you're not like getting like nobody really, because the thing is that nobody really knows like what any of the information like means necessarily. Like you can word it to like civilian wording, you know, to like so you can put things in words to what they understand.
Yeah.
But they still don't like have any like visual of like what that could possibly be. You know what I'm saying?
But
Whereas if you're working I mean it's the same thing if you were working for a different company as well, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like you were doing something at a different company with like, you know, a similar structure to them.
Yeah.
You know, like having like a CEO and then just like top managers and then middle management and, you know, like little like distributorships or like anything like that, you know, like it's completely different. So unless you're from that culture, from that vibe, then you're not going to know. And you're not going to get hand selected, bro. I will say one thing though. I found out I was doing a paper actually for school a while ago, and I found out that like predominantly people that work like logistics and supply jobs like throughout the country for various like companies and organizations are military people, like veterans. So because we've gotten trained, like formally trained from doing that.
Yeah.
And there's not really like a lot of like, you know, kind of like mid-level associate like formal training like prior to you like doing a job like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have your 4-year degree to go and like manage something like that, but there's no like mid-level training for that besides like the military really.
Yeah.
So unless I guess you get like an associate's degree in like supply chain type shit, but I mean that's not offered in a lot of places. It's offered here in Jersey at a few different schools, not a lot, because it's still kind of like becoming like a common it's becoming like a more common program that people do.
Yeah.
Because it is such a big industry here and there's a lot of money in it. So, but I mean it's still like kind of in the works as far as all that.
This is dope.
So
my last question to close this whole podcast out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out to all my listeners that's still listening. This is a dope ass podcast for real, especially the kind of end the year out. Like this is a very very dope.
2018 in the books, bro.
2018 in the books.
Mad one, almost in the 20s out here.
So I know you say you weren't really, because I asked my homeboy Robert this question. So he was like he wasn't really that deep into the military.
Yeah.
Like he'd just do his job and go home.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, if you can answer one thing you would change about the Navy, if you can, overall.
That is such a mad question.
And I ain't talking about, hey, I wish I could have an hour lunch break.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really cared about that, you know.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, one of y'all want to go home? Oh, no, we'll both stay here. I'm like, why?
I mean, I would just think that there would have to be some sort of just major, like, cultural shift, like, overall.
In what?
As far as just, like things like that. Like, things like something needs to change with the mentality of, I experienced a bunch of shit, so you have to as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of major cultural shit because it's not going to happen. That's not how you get the best from people. No. Because you know what? It's like, so let's say like one person goes into some like next level like depression over like, you know, like a family member or something like that dying. And you know, that person talks to somebody who's like, you know, lost like their entire family, let's say, like in like a car crash or something like that. Are you gonna tell me that that person still like can't be depressed because of them losing that one person versus the other person because their situation's worse?
Yeah.
Like depression's depression. You being sad is you being sad.
Yeah.
Like there's levels to it. There's levels to it, obviously.
Emotions, yeah.
But don't like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if as far as something changing, I mean,
it needs to be
just
like
major,
an open door policy
like
about
just
it.
I mean, but the thing is that they already say that there's an open door policy. You can come in here and talk about whatever you want. Like, like division officers are like what? Like the division therapists now.
Yeah.
Like how is that? But you still want me to obey like chain of command? How?
Yeah.
I can go. Your door's open at all times to talk to you about whatever, but you're also at the same time telling me I gotta go talk to
LPO,
LS whoever and chief before
First
you.
question they be like, you come to the office, yeah, my door's an open door policy.
Yeah.
Well, did you talk to LS?
Yeah,
such
exactly.
and such?
They ask
did
you.
Did you talk to
these
LPO?
people before you came and talked to me?
Like, no, bitch, I'm coming to you.
Because
like...
when I first walked in here, you told me your door was always open.
Yeah.
So is it or is it not? You know, like.
Don't just put that out there just because it sounds good on paper.
I'm saying it's just because it not even sound good on paper, just because it sounds good in general. It just sounds good to say.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, my door's always open. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
You know, like. So as far as something just changing in general, I mean, there would just have to be a major, like, dude, like colossal, like. Culture like change for me to ever like want to like do anything of that nature again.
Yeah,
you know, not that I probably would anyway.
Yeah,
but
do you miss it? Or like
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things that I miss about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would never go back. You know, but there's definitely things that I miss it. Mostly, it's just like the homies, and just like being put. And you're just living like the same building with like all your friends, like you know what I'm saying. Like you can't lie and like tell me that shit's not fun. Like it's fun. It's fun, dude. You can't tell me that shit's not fun.
Wednesday, Thursday, yo, you got any beer?
I'm saying it's just a vibe all the time. Besides when you're pissed about some shit that happened at work, you know what I'm saying. Actually, that kind of brings up something. So I remember that you and Ford have kind of talked about before, like, people who, you know, all of a sudden they get out of the military and all of a sudden, they love the military. You know, they, like, gas up, like, their, like, military experience, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
My thing was on is, like, when the people that were in is, like...
Like, they hated it when they were in, talking all this shit about it, and then got out. And then all of a sudden,
Navy,
exactly,
Marine Corps.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you like that? Do you want to give me a different perspective?
No, I'm saying I'm not.
I wouldn't say I'm category that I was talking about.
I wouldn't say I'm like that. I would say I definitely.
You was Navy'd out to me.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like you were like to me in my eyes. I don't know. Maybe it's because of respect level. Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of respect for you. I still do now.
Never had no problems with you. So it was like never like. Never
I mean, I would never even thought to like come at you crooked. Ever. You know what I'm saying? But that's because of the respect level. You know what I'm saying? So
I never looked at you. I would never look at you like
just like a dickhead.
Yeah, oh, he hated the military.
I mean, I did. I hated the military.
I never saw it.
I mean, I hated the Navy. You know, I hated being in the Navy.
Yeah.
I probably didn't. You know.
Is that a hate? Or
you know what it is? I probably didn't bring that like side of me around you probably as much, just because number one, respect for you, and respect for because I knew that like this was your shit, like you were about it. So like I'm not gonna try and like number one, like you're my supervisor, so I shouldn't be saying shit like that around you anyway. Yeah. But I'm not gonna like kill your vibe as well.
Is it hate or is it misunderstanding? At the time, if you kind of look back now.
It was hate. Okay. Totally hate. Just
hate.
Hate. No, it was hate. Totally hate. Hate for just like how the organization is like. Not necessarily like how it's run, but just like a lot of like standard like
that leadership
cultural like things of just like being in the Navy.
Yeah.
You know, I hated it. The thing is now is that I definitely look back on it like a lot more fondly than like when I was in. And that's kind of where I'm like getting into like what I was like just saying before. Yeah. It's like I'll go out now and like rock like a Navy shirt. You know what I'm saying? Where like a lot of people would be like, "Well, you hated the Navy. Why are you wearing a Navy shirt?" And the thing is for me is that I'm not like repping like the Navy. You know what I'm saying? I'm repping like my homies that I was in there with.
Gotcha.
That's like what it is for me. Because like the Navy, when I think about the Navy now, I don't like, dwell on all this bullshit that like I had to go through, or just that sounds like lame. That sounds corny. Yeah. That sounds like I went through all this, bullshit and my experience was so awful. Like, it sounds weak. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to word it like that. Like, I just didn't enjoy it, realistically.
Yeah.
Wasn't into it. Hated a lot of the cultural type shit about it. And just didn't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But I rock that shirt because that reminds me of, like, my people that I went through that experience with. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I'm not like one of these motherfuckers who's like, rocking these grunt style t-shirts and like, like those men. But like while they were talking shit about it every single day. I'm not like that by any means at all. And I think that that's what you guys are kind of like getting at. Like when you guys talk about it.
But it's also one of those like, I wouldn't know the Navy equivalent, but Marine Corps, we would call them shitbags.
Yeah.
Like the ones.
No, I mean we use that terminology as well. Yeah.
I can't think of nobody right now.
Yeah.
That we were stationed together with that was like didn't give their all.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, you garbage as hell in uniform, but as soon as you go home, your goddamn moms and pops or whoever be that's
because they don't. That's because they don't know any of the details.
Yeah, exactly.
They gas it up.
Yeah, so all they see is the uniform.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you can't even wake up.
So they flex.
Yeah, so it's the whole flexing mentality. Yeah. So I think that's what I know from my point of view, that's what I was going at. I'm pretty sure that's what Ford was going at as well.
No, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't flex with it at all. Yeah. But the thing is that,
like once you're out, like you did your, like I said, I will preach for you because you worked with me.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, you did your thing.
Yeah.
You ran.
Yeah.
One of the fastest runners. You knew all your knowledge.
Yeah.
This and that.
Yeah.
I never had a problem.
Exactly.
Or whatnot. I never had a problem I couldn't fix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll say that. I never had a problem I couldn't fix. Yeah, no. So it was like, okay, he's cool in my book. Yeah. But if it's one of those like, bruh, how did your recruiter ever even get you in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah, I feel you on that.
And then your family bigging you up. It's bruh.
Nah, I feel you on that. That makes sense.
So.
Nah, that makes total sense.
That's my problems with it, but I mean it is what it is.
At the same time, it would depend, like, in regards to me, and like how I was as a quote unquote sailor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It would depend on who you asked,
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like that, but I feel like that goes with like a lot of people as well,
Yeah.
So
see, with me it's direct supervision, so I'm only speaking from my perspective on. My perspective and like what I look for or whatnot, like in the beginning, like I said earlier in the podcast, like people I picked were handpicked,
yeah,
or whatnot, and like the people that was there,
mm-hmm.
I know I had conversations with them, and they was like, "Oh, it was just so funny that you would just look out the window and just watch people."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. I do remember you doing that. That's
I would
funny.
just look, for hours,
yeah.
And it's just like, you got to... Now, I was fortunate enough to be able to watch and pick who I was able to lead, in a sense.
Yeah.
Versus, these is all your people.
Yeah. This is what you got.
Yeah, this is what you got.
This is all you can work with.
Yeah, so I'm like, thank God, the timing was right. And, I'm glad I was able to influence those that were under me and stick to my word. And
you have, dude. You've influenced me probably in one of the most positive lights out of anybody really in the military. I actually wrote about you in one of my papers.
Oh, for real?
No bullshit. Yeah, swear to God.
That's dope.
As far as it was I had to write this paper to it was like a like an admissions like essay or whatever. I didn't get in, but it was a good ass paper. I know it was.
Yeah. Shit called me or something. I coulda.
But it was dope.
Yeah.
Because I'm good at writing. Like I will say, like I am good at like putting like words together and things like that for that type of shit. And it had to be like about like who's like been like a big like influence like on your life basically. And I basically like described like how like you basically like showed me the way to like go about like this work shit. and like how you're gonna go about it, how you're gonna represent yourself, how you need to be that much better than other people, like how maybe sometimes you just stay a bit more reserved and just kind of watch instead of fucking talking, which is like one of my like biggest problems. I still like have a problem with it today. It's not as bad as it used to be. I'm definitely a lot more like, nah, let me just sit back real quick and listen. But
and people don't realize it, especially in the military, is like when it comes to leadership, like I dictate your whole life.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. I dictate if you're going. I dictate your happiness. I dictate your sadness. I dictate your credit score.
Yeah.
I dictate
madness.
I dictate if you're gonna get a car. I dictate if you're gonna go out for the weekend.
Facts.
I dictate if you're gonna see your family.
Yeah.
I dictate.
Isn't that crazy?
Paycheck.
People don't think about that at all. You really don't.
You don't.
You don't think about that at all.
And it's like
fuck, you just went to mass. Now you got fucking half pay times 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you're broke AF.
But I still gotta expect you to have your uniforms on deck for uniform inspection. Make sure you eat right. Make sure all your bills are paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dictate all that. Well, not just me, but as far as leaders, especially in the military, we dictate all that. I probably say in the civilian world as well.
Yeah. I mean, not as much.
Yeah, not as
nearly as much. Because the military is like a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like big, like military. Because think about it, you just have like all these like some of these kids that be coming in, like, dude, all they got is like the clothes on their back, man. Yeah. Like that's facts.
Especially one of
that's like.
Especially one of our junior sailors that we had. I'm gonna put his name out there. The investigation.
Bro.
Yeah, we talk about that offline, but. Yeah,
I'm saying some people, dude.
Don't take baths, none of that. And I gotta, as far as leadership, I have to take care of all of that.
Yes, bro. I mean, even there's other people, man. I mean, that I was even there with, and just talking to them about like how they like joined or got recruited or like this, that, and the third, and just the situations that they're coming from. Like, bro, what other outlet did these kids even have? You know?
Yeah.
Like as far as like choosing what to do. Like, I mean, I'm very fortunate in that like I at least had like, I mean, I had like a father up until like a certain point.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Which could be viewed as worse or better depending on who you talk to. Yeah. I mean, some people are like, well, you know, I would rather have grown up never having nothing because then you don't know. You don't know what it's like then.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So kind of to get into that, we probably just gonna go to 3 to 4 hours. I'm gonna let you know. I'll probably do a part 2 for you.
You can just go.
Yeah. So the whole father situation with me is because I had that conversation now. I'm older.
Yeah.
And like I just seen a recent interview with somebody and it's like, man, I never had my father. I was like, I can't miss something I never had.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've talked to a lot of people about this that have been through like a situation like that.
Yeah, so it's like with me, I mean, I never talked to my mother personally about it, but I feel as though with me, it's like I've had strong male influences in my life to not even get into that realm to where it's like, well,
you never like had like anybody guiding you
to be like, y'all miss him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To be misguided in a sense or whatnot, because it's like. Some people can have their father in their lives and still be misguided.
True. It's very true. Because, I mean, I think that's kind of partially where I fit into it, actually.
Oh, for real?
Like, because, I mean, my father was out, just, like, left.
Like, since the young age?
I think I was, like, 13.
Okay,
14.
so it was middle age.
Yeah.
That's the
difficult age,
common core, like,
difficult age,
preteen, kind of knowing yourself.
Yeah, I mean, especially, like
especially as a man.
Especially as, like, a boy.
Getting some,
because that's
like, some for the first time.
Those are, like, the years where you're, like, becoming a man. Or supposed to be, anyway.
You sniffing yourself a little bit, a little poom here and there.
Yeah, exactly, all that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but at the same time, it's like my father was like, even when he was there, was just like mentally and emotionally just so absent that like it didn't matter.
Okay.
You know, that he was even there to really begin with. So like for me, like who I was constantly looking up to my whole life was my brother. because my brother's 10 years older than me.
Got it.
So, I was 4 or 5 years old. My brother's 14, 15. So I was constantly looking at my brother. But my brother was in a situation as well where he's misguided as well because he don't got, man's ain't, like, he's not emotionally there.
Yeah.
Or, like, being like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, start acting like a man, or just even, like, teaching him to really how to even be that.
He's just living life in his own. He's making mistakes.
Looking for his own, like, way, basically.
Yeah.
But then I followed that as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think.
But you followed it. But is it safe to say that you still kind of had the tools of your brother?
I mean, me and my brother are like fucking super similar, dude. We're like damn near like we're like twins-esque.
Yeah, but I'm saying you said you followed him, but your brother followed of not knowing anything, right?
Yeah.
In a sense.
I don't think my brother ever really like looked at my father whatsoever.
Okay.
So I feel like he was kind of somebody that was misguided and like looking for like
something.
It's not like you like think about it. You know what I'm saying? You're not like those age and like, oh man, I need somebody to guide me through this. Like you don't think about it that way, but it's like subconscious. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. That's the word I was looking at. So I'm saying it's like your brother was going through subconsciously not knowing or whatnot, but with you following behind him, he provided tools for you. Yeah. So it's like, you was kind of following his footsteps subconsciously.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're following your brother to a hole.
No. I think what my brother did actually was show me a lot of things to not do.
I like people like that. And
so by like his own mistakes, basically. Yes. So like my brother joined the military when he was 20. He had a bad like high school experience, just like I did. Constantly being in trouble.
Wise people learn from the mistakes of others.
Issues with the police, this, that, and the third, and the same for me. Yeah. So he joined then, and like a lot of military people, they get married super young, and they really shouldn't. Yeah. So that's like kind of what I'm getting at. So like he joined at like similar age to me, and then like did that. So like when I joined, I was like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like there were certain things that like I could see, and he's told me like about it. Like we've had discussions about it where it's like, he's kind of looked back at me, and we've like talked like through situations like, like don't do this, don't do that, like, or he'll like flip out and get like pissed at me
for doing
things that like he may have done, and he's like, but he's getting mad at me about it because he doesn't want me to take that same like route about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I like that. It's basically, smart learn from their own mistakes, but the wise learn from the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and that's just one of those things that I always learn. Is like, some people be like, well, you shouldn't hang around such and such because of X, Y, and Z. I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
For me as a person, I may hang around somebody, but I won't hang around with them for them as a whole.
You like compartmentalize.
Yeah. Totality. Yeah, so I won't hang around from their whole well-being. Yeah. But it's like from a certain aspect. Yeah. It's like I like this certain aspect.
There's certain people that like you'll go out and drink with. Yeah. But then there's certain people that like, nah, he be getting too rowdy.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in that kind of realm with you.
Exactly.
It's not like a fucking. It's not like you're like attacking that person.
Yeah.
But it's just like you be doing the most. Like I'm not.
Especially around this environment when I'm merging two environments together.
What do you mean? Like merging two environments?
So I would never merge a. How can I put this?
Like you mean like when you're bringing like people from different worlds together?
Yeah.
Like if you're like if you're like hanging out. Like, if you're, like, hanging out with, like, your boys from Baltimore or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, somebody from, like, your military world comes in. Is that kind of what you're saying? To, like, in a sense, just to, like, kick it, just, like, do whatever?
Yeah. Depending on where I'm at in my career, I would never merge. Yeah. Just because.
I mean, it makes sense, though.
I would know.
Certain people probably just wouldn't get on. you
Yeah.
know? So,
I
you know?
just wouldn't collide.
That's life, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
it is like
you
when
know?
people don't realize
Yeah.
that is, it's like, well, you need to. Can you get paid from S? Like, it's my homeboy Bert. I had to hit him, but I don't know. But yeah, I just wouldn't. You
Yeah.
know, and I think people need to realize that you can't merge every group.
Yeah.
You can't. Everybody can't go everywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, where
So
do
it's
you...
like we like to travel.
Yeah, totally.
You had people in your circle in your life that
I travel with.
you
Yeah.
travel with. You
Yeah.
also have people in your life in your circle that don't travel at all.
Facts. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that you don't even probably wouldn't even want to go and do it with.
Yeah.
Because they're just lame.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some people are lame.
Remember that time we went to this is gonna be on part 2. Remember that time we went to to Barcelona?
Dude.
First time. I was
5G, bro.
so pissed. I was pissed.
I'm actually kind of pissed that was the only trip that we did.
As much as we like to travel.
So,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it's funny actually because I was just talking to my girl about it the other day because like I've got so many friends from the military, and you're kind of like not like an odd one out, but just like you were somebody that I hung out with that was from like a different like crew of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like I wouldn't see you with Tony.
No. Like
Travis.
I was cool with all those people,
Yeah.
but it's because like I would hang out with you, and those are the people you hung out with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah. So it
like,
wasn't never a disrespect thing. It
No,
was
no, no,
like,
no.
Yeah. So it was like first time we went to Barcelona. Like we booked mind you. When I think we was booking the hotel, I wound up booking the hotel a whole year prior, by mistake.
Did you? I don't
yeah.
remember you doing that.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
That was you know what? That was actually because I think that was a hostel.
Yeah, so this what I'm about to get at. So I wound up booking the hotel a whole year, either hotel or plane ticket a whole year prior. I made a mistake and hit the next year by mistake.
Oh no, I remember you doing
and
this.
then
now.
I had to rebel back. Oh, that's my homeboy Foster. Yo, what's up? Yeah.
When you checked out of Albany, did they piss test you?
Nah.
Yeah. So I ain't gonna say the name, but somebody just hit me up asking me did I get piss tested before I left Albany. I was like, I don't know, can't remember.
What they trying to get you to come back?
Not me. It's one of my old
Oh.
Marines, leaving. That matter of fact, they on leave right now, and they calling me asking me. I'm like, but they basically checked out of the unit.
How long they checked out for? I mean, well, how long did they leave days for?
The entire school. Now they about to leave. Yeah, Tuesday we'll be back, but Tuesday that's when I get promoted.
Oh, you get promoted on Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congrats! I'm doing the podcast right now.
Oh shit, thank you. I appreciate that, bro.
Huh.
I was like, why the fuck this man got these headphones on? What ain't
Yeah, I'm doing the podcast right. This is gonna be my part 2 of the podcast because I'm going about 2 hours in right now.
You stay with a cup when your ass on the podcast.
No, that's all good. I'm my homeboy Fisher right now. He was in Sigonella.
How you doing, bro?
What's up, bro?
Chillin', man. What y'all talk about this time?
Nah, his time in the Navy and just some other shit.
Mad topics, bro. Mad topics. Been hitting it all.
That's what's
So,
up, bro. That's what's up.
you know.
How your Christmas was, bro?
Oh, it was cool. Got mad clothes and whatnot. So it is what it is. I'm still, I'm still waiting on this whole recruiter shit. So I wound up.
They still fucking with you too?
Now I wound up going to another recruiter or whatnot. So they got me right. So he hit me up what's today?
20.
No, today.
Today's Saturday.
So sad. So he hit me up Thursday and told me that they still waiting on my waiver.
My bad, bro. I'm trying. Down the first is Tuesday, so Wednesday I'll be getting promoted on Wednesday. My bad. And then Thursday.
So Wednesday, let me hit you up after this podcast.
All right, bro. My bad.
All right, now you good. You good. But dang, what was I talking about?
We're talking about the hostel in Barcelona.
So the hostel in Barcelona. So I wound up booking the wrong ticket or whatnot for a whole year prior. Wound up getting my money back, and then I swear to God, cause my time there, I was like, yo, I do not want to stay at a hostel.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I did not want to stay at a hostel. So when I looked on
Mistake,
Expedia,
bro. Hostels are dope, bro. By the way, for those of you, if you ever do any like type trip to Europe, any of that, stay at hostels. Don't pick no dodgy ones. Pick like
we
nice
don't know,
ones
and plus we
that
seen
get,
the
like-
movie Hostel, so
Bro, they're sick, dude. You meet so many people. It's just a vibe.
So when I picked it, I'm like, oh shit, these nice ass rooms.
Yeah.
Like the rooms was
Well, that's
nice.
the thing is that was like a room though, with like just you and me,
Yeah,
with like its own shower and bathroom.
exactly.
And that, so,
So the picture HOTEL,
yeah,
and they took the picture at night or not. So when we
That's
get
funny.
there or whatnot, remember the S is blanked out
yeah. Oh,
in person. So
that's funny.
Because
dude.
remember when we rolled up, we
Yeah.
took the plane, we rolled up.
Yeah.
And it's this long ass like cobble street. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
why the fuck this ain't on the main road?
Yeah.
But it is Europe, so you
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be like accepting to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I'm like, bro, is that a fucking S?
yeah. Totally was.
The fucking S is a
You know
hospital.
what? It was weird though as well because I mean in Barcelona or whatever they speak
Catalan.
Catalan as well.
Yeah.
So like they spell shit mad weird.
So it's still
Like
Spanish.
even in comparison to Spanish though, like they
Yeah.
spell shit like differently in comparison to Spanish.
Yeah.
So
But the thing about it, we met. I said no, I'm a little twisted. But we met a lot of Moroccans.
did we meet Moroccan? I don't remember meeting no Moroccan people.
I
We
remember
probably
meeting
did. Yeah,
Moroccans.
we probably did.
Walk to walk.
What? Oh, Lord, walk to walk. Do you remember that club? We went to 2 different clubs. There was one, I think it was called Jamboree.
I can't remember the name.
There was one hip hop club that was in like a basement
Yeah, I remember that.
called Jamboree. That was a vibe. But then there was this other club that we went to, and it was just like straight like housey, fucking like what's the like salsa type. Like,
I remember. I just couldn't relate to it.
what's
so I
the
was just
what's
vibing.
the shit reggaeton, bro? Oh my god, I cannot stand reggaeton, dude.
So you like reggae, but not reggaeton.
I hate reggaeton. Reggaeton is nothing like reggae, bro.
Yeah.
At all, like whatsoever. It's just like same little drum kick,
Yeah.
different little samples and that. But you know, it's just not for me. It's
Yeah.
for people that like to do all that little like dancing shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess reggae and dancehall is as well. So I mean, obviously, like you know, like a lot of like. I mean, like at like Jamaican dance halls.
Jamaican.
Yeah, I mean they have like proper like routines and that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
It was dope, man. It was,
I would love to go to
the
Jamaica. Dude.
food.
Food is bomb. Food is the next.
I think
level.
I'm gonna try to hit Jamaica next year, but I think I'm gonna do a cruise.
If you do Jamaica, I want to go to Jamaica.
Cruises are
I've been saying I want to go to Jamaica for a long time.
Cruises are kind of open up my eye. I understand cruises
Cruises
are
are dope.
you're limited as
Yeah.
far as sightseeing,
It's a vibe though.
but like Norwegian cruise line, all you could drink.
Mm-hmm.
I like to drink.
Yeah, who doesn't?
All you can eat, and then you at the port for X amount of hours,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah,
bounce.
it's sick. I think it's sick more so if you like are trying to hit like multiple locations.
Yeah,
So,
because
like-
Cuba was so dope for me.
I
Going to
did.
Cuba next year for November.
I did a couple different ones when I was younger. My mother like stacked so much money like working to try and do it. And we went to I think we did like a Royal Caribbean one and then like some like Norwegian one.
Yeah,
And we went to like all these different countries in like
Yeah,
Scandinavia as well. And then we did another one where we went to like Greece and like Greek islands and all that.
yeah.
And that was sick too.
I'm gonna
So-
pause this. I got
Oh,
pee.
God. I have-
Yo, so I mean it's recording. Yo, so we back in the building doing the damn thing. So we just gonna close this out. It's a long time. We gotta chop and screw and chop this podcast to kind of get the proper ending. But I want to give a shout out to my young lad for coming through. It's been years.
Years, bro. Absolutely. I mean, I'm glad to just even be up and on doing it, man.
Yeah.
It's just vibes, honestly, and just chatting all this shit, like, just with you, honestly. I mean, it's just good times. So,
Shit, I'm glad to be in your
Yeah.
presence.
yeah, so it's just good. It's good vibes, bro. Good
Yeah.
vibes all around. So.
Good vibes and fun times. That's how we
Yeah.
do it, baby. Unpredictable Thoughts podcast. And like I say to my people, like I understand, the whole point, the whole premises of this podcast is that like, people always see a lot of like homeless veterans out there. And my challenge is to kind of challenge that stigma.
Yeah.
There are programs out there,
Definitely.
everything ain't for everybody, so it's not like a set program to where it's like if you do this, you be able to do this to succeed.
Yeah.
So it's like just kind of piecing together everybody's stories on why they stay in, why would they get out, what programs did they do, did they go to school, what are they doing to kind of succeed after the military? Because like yeah, we see a lot of homeless veterans, but we also see
A lot of people,
succeeding,
excel.
excelling.
A lot
So
of
it's
people
like
excel.
kind of bridging that gap on.
Yeah. I think a lot of it just depends on like what you decide to do.
Yeah. And the information that's
yeah.
out there.
If you're
so
not,
I'm willing to provide that information.
if you're not motivated to, get moving, like
Yeah.
after your time is up, like in the military, regardless of like what kind of terms you left on, you got to make moves, bro.
Yeah.
So
So the information.
obviously everybody's experience is different though, and people's situations are different though. So I'm not gonna come up here and like knock people that have gone through tough times necessarily, but at the same time, it's like you got to make a move.
Yeah, you
So-
got to make that move, baby. And like I said, the information is out there. So that's why I will continue to have people like this on my podcast. To close out, enjoy the holidays one more time for the fine time.
Happy New Year's
Happy
and that.
New Year's.
So
Enjoy. Spend time with the family and spend time with the friends. Make sure you do what it do, baby.
keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. Like I said, keep that same energy. Dad hats.
Yep.
We got I'm good love dad hats. We doing free shipping from now until whenever until I can get these damn hats off for real. So make sure you check out unpredictablethoughts2.com where you can listen to all the latest podcasts and you can shop for the dad hats. And then soon we may have some other attire. We just try and get on. Then that's when I can push everything else. But make sure you check out unpredictablethoughts2.com. Make sure you check out the podcast on iTunes. We just got it put on Spotify today.
Word.
That's why I was a little late this morning.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so I just got it put on Spotify. We on Google Play. We on radio, something, YouTube. We doing it all. 2019, I'm going to start doing visuals. So
Big year, fam.
big year. But yeah, make sure y'all check it out. Peace.